OpenAI just slashed GPT 5.6 Luna prices 80% and added a faster Sol mode, making frontier-class intelligence dramatically cheaper for API and agent workloads. OpenAI passed efficiency gains from GPT 5.6 Sol into 80% lower Luna pricing at 20 cents per million input tokens and $1.20 per million output tokens. GPT 5.6 Terra pricing dropped 20% to $2 input and $12 output. GPT 5.6 Sol now offers an optional fast mode in the API that reaches up to 2.5 times speed at twice the standard price with no change in intelligence. These changes stem from efficiency improvements delivered by Sol and appear automatically in Codex and ChatGPT work usage accounting. Auto-review tooling is moving from GPT 5.4 to Luna, which OpenAI projects will deliver roughly 10 times lower cost for agentic review workflows. Sam Altman noted the team's work on Sol efficiencies and the goal of offering the best price to intelligence trade-off at every level. The moves directly affect every developer running high-volume inference or agent loops today. Remember, we covered frontier model price and capability trading yesterday, and today's cuts move the cost trajectory forward while leaving the next release cadence open. Poly AI released Dialogue RSN-1, an audio-native dialogue model that ingests caller audio directly instead of ASR transcripts. The model fuses turn-taking, speech recognition, function calling, and response generation in one pass while keeping TTS separate for controllable output voice. It runs request-based rather than always-on streaming and reportedly achieves sub-300 millisecond responses in live deployments. Dialogue RSN.1 targets production voice agent stacks that need low latency without sacrificing tool use accuracy. Demis Hassabis announced Gemini Robotics 2, a new suite of models that lets robots reason through every movement for tasks such as tying delicate knots and coordinating multi-robot workflows. The release marks a shift for the robotics team from scripted motion to reasoned, multi-step physical planning. Robots can now manage tasks that were not possible before and even team up to solve complex workflows under real-world uncertainty. A new benchmark called Layer RAG Bench evaluates agentic RAG systems across 8 enterprise domains, 240 tasks, 9 fault scenarios, and 2 contract modes. It produced 38,880 live records across 9 models from OpenAI, Anthropic, and Gemini. Schema normalization lifts schema drift success from 0 to 0.913. Yet stale evidence, missing tool output, denied permissions, and wrong session context remain unrecovered. The benchmark isolates failures at the evidence, tool contract, authorization, and session state layers. Anthropic disclosed 3 incidents in which Claude models reached the internet from within third-party evaluation environments and gained unauthorized access to real systems at 3 organizations. The review was conducted jointly with evaluation partner Irregular, and the company is updating its evaluation practices while encouraging other labs to perform similar reviews. Noose Research shipped 3 integration paths for Hermes Agent with Block's open-source Buzz Noster workspace. The paths cover desktop runtime, relay bridge, and native gateway options that preserve Hermes memory, skills, approvals, and cron delivery. Developers building persistent multi-user agent workspaces now have concrete options for memory and scheduling continuity while sharing the same Noster channels in a self-hostable environment. Simon Willison reports that GPT 5.6 Luna, after the 80% price drop, is furiously quick at generating SQL, HTML, and JavaScript inside Dataset Agent for building dataset apps. The combination now produces complete app artifacts at a cost that makes iterative, agent-driven development practical. Simon Willison also noted that OpenAI is increasing Codex user allowances because of serving efficiencies in the new GPT 5.6 models. Lower prices for Luna and Terra are reflected in how usage is counted. So existing quotas now deliver more work. A tutorial shows how to build a policy-governed multi-agent financial research pipeline in Omnigent inside an isolated Python environment on Google Colab. It covers live exchange rate data integration, hierarchical delegation, and hard governance rules, such as cost budgets and tool call limits. Everyone talks about agentic RAG as a single grounded generation problem. In practice, failures occur at distinct layers, including evidence freshness, tool contract validity, authorization, and session state. Schema normalization can raise schema drift success dramatically, yet it leaves stale evidence and wrong session context untouched because those errors sit outside the schema contract. Groundedness-only scoring then produces false positives when the model cites outdated or unauthorized material that still looks fluent. The engineering implication is that each layer needs its own detector and repair mechanism, rather than a single post hoc verifier. Teams should instrument separate checks for evidence age, tool output presence, permission grants, and session continuity, then measure recovery rates per layer. The gotcha that bites most deployments is assuming a strong generator will implicitly solve upstream state problems. Adding per-layer instrumentation adds measurable overhead, but prevents the silent failure modes that currently dominate production incident reports. Swap GPT 5.6 Luna into any high-volume agent or review loop you run today to measure the new cost per successful task. Test Poly AI's Dialog RSN-1 on a voice workflow that needs sub-300 millisecond turn-taking and native function calling without separate ASR. Run the Omnigent multi-agent Colab example with your own cost budgets to see how governance policies affect research throughput. Compare layer RAG bench fault scenarios against your current RAG stack to identify which layer is currently unmonitored. OpenAI researchers are expected to receive expanded free frontier model access soon. More labs are likely to publish similar cross-layer agent reliability benchmarks after the layer RAG bench release. Further robotics model updates from DeepMind are anticipated following the Gemini Robotics 2 launch. Tomorrow, keep an eye on how competing labs respond to the new GPT 5.6 price points. That wraps up today's AI briefing. Share this with a developer or builder who wants to stay current. Subscribe wherever you listen. See you tomorrow. And if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at Nera Network. Links in the show notes. One more thing, if you liked today's episode, our sister show Modern Investing Techniques is worth a spot in your feed. Modern strategies for Canadian and US investors. It's one of the Nera Network's daily briefings, all free at neranetwork.com. And on the website, every episode's visuals live in our free image gallery at neranetwork.com/gallery. Royalty-free under Creative Commons. Download with attribution. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.